Everyone, welcome back to Fed Up again with me, the Fed Up Miserable One. Joining me today for a second appearance is Stephen from the band The Stone Knight. Thanks for joining us again, man. I'm looking forward to this. So, how is it going today?
It's going fantastic. And how's your day going?
It's going not too bad. Got my supplies here for the throat, so yeah, we're getting there. Slowly recovering. There'll be people thinking you shouldn't be such a stoner. But anyway,
What
I
don't
digress.
they say like slow and steady wins the race, like the tortoise in the hare? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like, yeah, you're kind of like the tortoise right now.
Yeah, that's right, man. I always say to people like stone by nature, man. So for
Yeah.
work. Um, so the thing I noticed straight off the bat, well, I'm going to go straight into the video, man, for Etcetera, is it caught my attention immediately because as soon as I saw like the retro vibe to it, and then it's got like the start menu from the retro gaming systems. Uh, and then, of course, you see Temco Super Bowl. And I was like, oh man, that grabbed me straight. Coughing attack already.
You're good, dude.
Here's so much from me saying, oh, I'm okay for 60 minutes. And then, yeah, Revenge of the Stoner there. But yeah,
Yeah,
that
right.
grabbed me straight away, man. So I'm really curious. What made you decide to use the footage of, Temco Super Bowl, put some football on there with the soundtrack? I'm just wondering. I mean, it's certainly unique, man. It's different as well.
I mean, what inspired me was I was just searching, fishing in my brain for ideas,
Yeah,
and I play a lot of Tecmo Super Bowl, and it's also
yeah,
football season here.
yeah.
I actually have the Eagles on in the background right now, but I'm a big fan of Tecmo Super Bowl. You don't really see people playing or paying homage to it, at least in the music scene.
Great.
Um, so I mean, it literally just came to me one day. I'm just like, oh, it'd be kind of fun to like try to do something like that, and also like have like custom animations and stuff like that. Just to challenge myself and like try to make it fun and interesting for me as well.
Mm,
And yeah, I mean that's really how it came to be. It literally was just like one night I'm falling asleep and I have some my mind's racing and I'm just like, you know what, I kind of want to do that, just to have fun with it. And like you don't really see that ever, so it's kind of it draws in fans of the band who just want to hear the song, but also if someone's on YouTube, and they're a fan of Tecmo Bowl, maybe they'll like see it and be like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like I wonder what these guys are doing. So
yeah, yeah, for real. Because usually it's always people paying homage to Madden. The
oh
more
yeah.
the more famous one. And yeah, it grabbed me straight away. Obviously, being football season, the games are pretty much on here every night. I mean, you've got the Eagles on in the background. That's on here now. I think they're showing another one later tonight, and then of course there's Monday Night Football as well. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that again, that just caught my attention. I like how you've got the lyrics like come at the top as well, literally like and kind of like uh, gaming story cards, what you'd see on the retro titles as well. Um,
Well, that was calculated too, because
mm,
when you play the game, like it's the same font as in like Tecmo Bowl, and also all the
yeah,
text in Tecmo Bowl, like that's like on the top. It always scrolls left to right. So I
yeah,
animated it that way. So it's like, at the very start, it shows like first down, so and so is the ball, so and so is the ball. And then like the lyrics come in with like the same style of like the, left to right, you know, kind of thing going on in animation, I should say. And
mm,
yeah, no, it was just like a fun little project to do that. I tried to make it like accurate to the theme of it. You know what I mean? Like not
yeah,
just have lyrics that are in like, Comic Sans over the video. Like I try to do it like a little thoughtfully. And I was really happy with how it turned out. People like, caught some people's eyes. You're not the first one to be like, oh, that's really unique and interesting.
yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's got that fun vibe, and I think it will do. And like retro gaming, that whole scene has kind of come back. You've got people like making new games with all the retro graphics and fonts for many genres. I mean, the retro consoles sell for high prices as well.
Oh, it's
So
crazy.
yeah, yeah,
It's crazy, like the inflation on like retro gaming consoles. Like I have like I have an NES, and obviously I play Tecmo Bowl, but I have like a bunch of other games I collected throughout my youth. And you know, like I buy them at like, you know, pawn shops for like $5 a piece, and then like I look at some of the prices online, and I'm like, this game isn't even good, yet it's like starting at
Yeah.
$50 on eBay. That's crazy. You know?
Yeah, it is. It's insane, especially for those like rare to find cartridges, or if it's the Japanese editions as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like Famicom versions, stuff like that. It's insane. I watched it. Funnily enough, I watched this documentary a while ago about like the rise of Sega and how they were challenging Nintendo at the time, and in the episode they had actually John Madden on there when they were designing the first Madden games. And like it was pretty interesting, man, how they were putting that together, and they wanted to try and for that time make something as close as they could get to football, which really hadn't been done before, apart from like the sprites, which obviously didn't give it that real feel because they were limited with the technology at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, man, I grabbed it straight away. I also like the you've got a good range of merchandise already as well, which I was having a look at. Don't worry, folks, we will talk about the music. Don't worry. Be people thinking, man, music. But I like you've got on the shirts, you've got like the retro graphics there. You know, you've got a baseball player, again, a football player with like the NES logo in the bottom right, you know,
Mm-hmm.
from Tenko Super Bowl. Um, a little postcard vinyl there, which is really nice, like it with the city on the front. So, did you do all the artwork for this yourself again?
Yep, I did it
Oh,
all
man.
myself, and it was one of those things where, you know, like a couple of days before the release, I'm like, huh, what should I do for some merch? And then I'm just like, you know, I had like a burst of inspiration. I'm like, I'm gonna make these like little retro-y kind of things because it's
Yeah.
kind of in theme, you know, with the video. So I have like something thematical for the release, and yeah, I was just like, you know, like literally the day before the release, I was like wrapping up the designs because we're doing print on demand again for these shirts. So
Yeah.
yeah, no, I just, you know, just felt inspired in the moment, I guess, and was just, you know, hammering away at a few designs, and that's how I came up with the t-shirt artwork. And then the postcards are actually physical. I have those, you know, because I figure they'll probably sell at shows pretty well.
Yeah.
But yeah, for that, a company reached out. I believe it's called Vinyl Post. I believe it's Vinyl Post. They reached out, and you know, they're like, hey, we make these vinyl postcards, and it was, you know, a good deal. And I'm like, all right, cool. Like, let's do that. Let's try it, you know. So that was the only one that was like calculated. Everything else was kind of on the whim.
Whoa. Man, that is insane. Again, you did that in a day, dude. You're a machine. Man, I think it took me a week at least just to decide on an image for the shirt, and then I'd probably been still arguing with myself, thinking, right, no, I'm not sure if I like this or not. And you've got a good range as well. It's like it's not just one shirt. You know, you've got a good you've got a good four there. With the different versions as well, man. I'm just wondering, you know, for the image of the skyscrapers and the city there, did you use AI again for that, or was that something different?
So for the city image, yeah, I used AI to generate the city skyline, and then everything else though was done, you know, through hand design, whatever else,
Nice.
you know, fonts and shit like that. Yeah.
Oh man, that's pretty nice. Yeah, it's
So like for the football one, like like it's a sprite from Tecmo Bowl,
yeah.
and then like in the background it's like the stadium from Tecmo Bowl, and I had to do some like editing to make it like, you know, a widescreen palette. And then same with the baseball one, except it's RBI baseball. So I had to do some editing to, like, you know, create a widescreen palette, you know, to have that like crossed off like background image for the foreground like character.
Yeah, if it was if you were doing like a FIFA soccer design or one of the many sports games now, man, dude, it'd be dated within like 6 months, you know, because they release a different version like every year, all the time.
Well, you'd have to, if you'd want to do it timeless, you'd have to do like sensible soccer, I feel like.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
something like that.
The thing is, and I mean, in America, that's not as, you know, obviously popular. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's like whatever. Like like the football and baseball ones like make sense. Like I was thinking about doing like an NBA Jam kind of one, but there's already like a million of those. So yeah.
Well, there's so many, man. So it's interesting how we'll get in the music, just how big like football, baseball, and basketball have got everywhere. I mean, they do like the Wembley games here now, and the sell out so fast, man. It's impossible to get a ticket. It's like you can try, but within 5 minutes, it's gone.
Well, half the people I bet are just Americans traveling over to England.
Yeah, and then all the rich who've got like first access, and then those of us who actually support the game and want to see it. It's like, yeah, good luck getting a ticket.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, you're not. I mean, football isn't the best like in-person sport to watch anyway. It's better on TV.
I think what's ruined it somewhat and recently, and but this is more of a Super Bowl thing. Has been the endless commercials, and we like have to go into the studio and talk about a play for like 30 minutes or something, and then say this was sponsored by blah blah blah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's that. Yeah, so when you're at the stadium, you end up like half the time you're there, it's like the game's in TV timeout, so you're just sitting there, doing nothing. It's like after every punt, TV timeout, this TV timeout, and then on top of that, just watching the game, it's like, unless like you have like beautiful like 50-yard line, like upper deck seats, like you can't, because if you're sitting in the lower deck, you're too close to the game anyway. So when it's like in either red zone, you can't really see anything. So like you end up watching most of the game on the jumbotron anyway when you're there.
Yeah.
So.
I tell you what's fun to watch, but man, it's so fast. It literally flies. Hockey in person.
Oh, no, I love hockey. Like going to hockey games. Like I was at a Flyers game a few weeks ago, and hockey's great to watch in person.
Yeah, it's literally the end of each quarter. That's it. It's like run to the bathroom, get quick water if you can, and then you've got to get back to your seat, and then in the next quarter, and it's like it almost feels like at times like unless they go to overtime sometimes it's like the games you've only just got there and the game's over already. But it's because it's so fast and entertaining as well. But we had a recent I don't know if you saw the news, sadly a player over here.
Oh yeah, I saw that. It's
damn
brutal.
Man. And they're still on about we won't make like the protection around the throat compulsory, going to make it a choice. I'm like, come on, man, I remember it happening in the game.
I mean, so that's an interesting point. So even to go off of that, like for example, I play hockey like in men's league. I mean, granted, we're not like slamming into each other. It's like a no check league, but there's still contact and people still fall over. But like, I don't wear a neck guard. No one else wears neck guards. I don't. It's one of those things where if you're a professional playing at that speed, like you might want to consider it because like people get like slashed. But it is like a fucking freak accident too. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, it is. It's true. I mean, I think at that high level, they could look at something because I remember there was something in the NHL. Quite a few years ago now.
About the goalie that got his neck.
Yeah.
From the Sabres. Yeah, well, they made a compulsory. I'm saying the word wrong, but yeah, you basically have to wear like neck guards if you're a goalie now.
Sorry.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah. Hockey is fantastic, man. It's so entertaining as well. I love it. So we'll get back on the music for a bit. People will be like, sports nerds.
Sports and all that.
Yeah. I'm terrible, man. Movies, sports, all that stuff, man. Get us going. That's it. But I'm curious as well. Before we look at the lyrics and the music itself, what was the influence for the title for Etcetera?
So basically, every time we write a song, we put like a working title on it. And it's usually like, based off of like a band it was inspired by, right? So like, we have this song called Denora, and Denora was called like AIC Capo 1 because it sounded like Alice in Chains and it was on the first capo. Etcetera, we literally just we just named it ETC for whatever reason. And it just stuck. Like, I mean, that's really it. Like, it was a working title, and then it kind of ended up, fitting lyrically, believe it or not, and it was just like, all right, like, it sounds cool, like we should just keep it.
Yeah I know. Yeah, that's interesting, man. I noticed with the music on this one as well, you mentioned Alice in Chains. on this one compared to, I think when we were talking about Raindrops last month.
Mm-hmm.
This one is like it has that grunge vibe in it still, but it's mixed with indie, with alternative rock, and it feels
Yeah.
like a partnership of them two put together. And it starts off, I think, where it has the indie feel, and then the grunge comes in as well once you get going. So I thought it was quite a nice pairing that you did with this one.
Yeah, and then also like Radiohead, would believe it or
Yeah.
not, was like kind of a bigger inspiration for this one. Like especially like the ending. The ending was like my attempt of ripping off what's that one Radiohead song where they have like the music video, they have like the GoPros or whatever on their heads.
Oh
And it's
God,
facing them.
I know which one you mean, and now I'm like, I forget.
Like Jigsaw's falling into place or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah. So the ending of it is kind of like how I interpret Jigsaw's falling into place, where it goes through that little progression at the end where it's like, doing whatever. Like, yeah, that was actually a heavy inspiration for like, this track. And yeah, definitely like indie vibes, especially with like the guitar leads, at certain points, like during the chorus, for example, like the kind of like walking guitar leads that just float over the the mix and like support the vocal melody.
Yeah, it is. It's like I said, nice partnership, nice melody there. It's a very nice upbeat song as well. So the lyrics for it, when I was reading them, just curious, what inspired them for this one?
I think this one was like a reflection on like personal relationships. Not any in particular, but just like, and not romantic either, just like, relationships with people in general. And like kind of like how like, if they go sour, like being like, are they the problem or am I the problem? You know what I mean? Yeah, it's like, it's like, oh, like, some guys had like so many bad roommates in a row. It's like, well, maybe you're the bad roommate,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like that person, isn't it, that always ends up in the drama with everybody around them. And then it gets to a point where it's past like 500 million people that they've had arguments with. Like, maybe it's you. That's the problem, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of that's what the lyrics pretty much are about. I mean, that one line in the chorus where it just goes, "The situation's me." I mean, that kind of like sums it up.
Yeah. Yeah, there's it, and I like it, and it's a song that's open to interpretation as well, because we could interpret the words that we've just been saying, or another one you could perhaps take it to a point of personal relationships as well. It's like, oh, if there's been so many and this one hasn't worked, and it's like, yeah, if they're all saying the same thing, then maybe it's that person with the problem, you in front of you in the mirror, not necessarily the other people. So I just thought they were interesting lyrics.
It kind of jumps between like at least how I wrote it in my head. It jumps between being like, like, oh, like, like this was problematic, or like, I find this about you problematic, but then it has like an introspective, like, tug, it goes from like being like, oh, blah blah, I think blah blah blah, pointing fingers, oh wait, maybe it's me. That's kind of like, even though like you read the lyrics and they're kind of like out there at times in terms of like interpretation. That's the way I like wrote it and had envisioned it in my head.
Yeah, it's like a very introspective as well, and relatable again. So what's the response been like to it so far? Have you had some good feedback?
Oh no, it's been fantastic. It's been better than Raindrops, I think. I mean, I think just the nature of like the music landscape and like where like rock and metal and everything else fits in with people. I think right now, like in the past 15, 20 years, I mean, I think indie definitely, or like indie stylistic songs definitely resonate with the general population more. And like a lot of people who might not be into like the more heavier stuff like Raindrops, are, happen to be into this song. And the people who like the heavier stuff like Raindrops too are also into this song, but like it kind of reaches over, into a wider demographic, I'm finding.
Yeah, I think you're right, because metal and punk and hardcore is are very niche. and where it's funny, you could take kind of like one of the popular commercial bands from those scenes, and that would be really heavy to the average person outside of those scenes. Whereas to us, you know, used to listening to some heaviest, I'd be like, "What? That's just regular, normal, whatever." And you think, "Oh, if I show you some of the extreme stuff, you'll probably have a heart attack."
Yeah.
But I think you've done, like we were talking about, you know, last time you were here, that nice bridge where you're still catering to, you know, the stoner rock community as well, people who like the heavier vibe, but you're also reaching outside of that to a wider audience, bringing people in. And it's nice that um, your core existing fan base appreciate the lighter tones as well. And as I remember you saying on the first time here that, you know, you write very much and play whatever mood you're in. If you want to do a heavier one, you will do. If you want to do something, you know, lighter, Radiohead, whatever, indie, you'll do that. So it seems like people are appreciating that because it's honest music. It's out there. It's for whatever, like I said, whatever mood you're in, whatever you're feeling. This is what we do. There's something here for everybody. So that's pretty cool stuff, man.
Yeah, well, thank you. I appreciate it. And
Yeah.
you know, and like I said, it's not really calculated. You know,
Yeah.
it just works that way, and it's funny how it does work that way. And yeah, and definitely grateful for people that you know, have an open enough mind to, you know, come along for the musical journey.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun, and definitely, you know, this was one of those cases where I came up with the main riff for the song, and I was just like, oh, this is really cool, and I really like it. And is it like, does it sound like Raindrops? No, but I don't care. You know,
Yeah.
it's fun pushing your musical boundaries. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is because it's giving you something different to play. You're not just staying in one route all of the time.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's if you just look, as much as I like the heavier stuff as well, if you were just playing that constantly nonstop, I think you would get bored with it. I mean, people who play that kind of music, I always say people, they will play other music as a break from it to do something different. It won't just be literally that one genre 24/7 all the time. Even if that's their main core point, yeah, that could occupy, say, I don't know, 80% of their playing, but they will still have time to do something different. So
Yeah, exactly. And you know, for a lot of people too, like they'll just go ahead and like make a side project. But I
yeah,
guess what's cool about the Stone Eye is, like, you know, it ends up just being a Stone Eye song. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Instead of like running around and making side
Well,
projects and whatever, it's like,
the thing is as well, man, I think we were saying this last month. If you look at stoner music as well, it's like we're saying you take like a band like the Melvins, you know, and then say
and
put
compare it to
them,
Sleep, it's
yeah,
nothing alike. Yeah.
exactly. It's totally different. There is very like acoustic, what would be considered very light stoner music, which still comes under that bracket. And then, of
Hmm.
course, you've got the heavier fuzz riffage bands as well. It's so wide now, and there's so many. I feel now, yeah, it comes under that umbrella. But if you want to get technical and really look at it, it's got so many subgenres and branches now, which could be even a different form of music. So I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
whatever. It's still part of that scene, you know.
Yeah, exactly. It's a lot like how grunge was back in the day,
Yeah,
where it's like, I think we made that same comparison where it's just like, you know, it's like, what is it? You know, it's like, well, it's this, that, and the other, and you list four bands, and every band sounds a world apart. You know,
yeah,
the only similarity is like most of them are usually using like distortion. You know, and that's about it. I mean, you know, I mean, how look at bands like Elder, like, you know, what bands like Elder are doing now are nothing
yeah,
like, you know, stoner rock, yet they're considered stoner rock, even though it's more like psychedelic prog stuff.
yeah,
You know, it's it's definitely a wide reaching genre, you know, or if you even want to call it a genre. I don't even know.
yeah,
There's too many
yeah, yeah.
genres and subgenres these
Oh
days.
no, I know. It gets ridiculous, man. It's like every day it's branching off. I know post mash and lunacore or whatever, and I'm
Yeah.
like what? And sometimes I say to folks like, let's just say, right, this is metal, this is rock, whatever. We'll just put it on there just to make things easier and just look, you either like it or not, you know.
Yeah,
Simple as
exactly.
that.
And it's like how like fucking metal is rock. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? Like, you know, like I mean Metallica is a rock band. They're a metal
yeah,
band, but like they're a rock band, you know, like
well,
fucking
yeah,
every like heavy band is a rock band, you know.
exactly. It all goes back to rock and roll, and then that goes back to blues. And sometimes I think it gets a bit too overcomplicated for its own good, where we
Hmm.
have to. It's like, okay, I'm not going to be a hypocrite here when I hear a band that's got like so many layers to them, and I'll say I don't know how to describe you or put that genre because there's bits of everything. And sometimes those guys just say, look, just say we're a rock band, we're a metal band. You know, we've just got different sounds within our music, different songs. You know, one can be heavy, one can be light, one could even be folk or whatever. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, and that's what I like tell, you know, people like when they ask, oh, what kind of band are you? I'll just say like alternative rock, you know, because
exactly.
it's like, you know, we got like indie vibes, we got stoner vibes, we got grunge
Yeah,
vibes, like that all technically kind of falls under the alternative umbrella. So I'm just like, yeah, we're alternative, you know, keep
yeah.
it easy.
But yeah, pretty much that's what it all is. And I noticed as well you've done some shows since we last talked, and I love the flyer for the one you did on November the 2nd at the Nail and Ardmore. It's got like that real sci-fi, almost looks like the two Death Stars destroying
Oh,
each other.
I can't take credit for that. I believe it was the guys from Mag Electric who made it, and
Nice.
I could be totally wrong. It could be the guys from the Spiders. I honestly,
Yeah,
I do not know who made that flyer, but whoever did, I think it's one of those two bands. They did a fantastic job, and I
yeah,
cannot take credit for it.
yeah. Those look sick, man. So did those go? Did those shows go well?
Yeah, no, they went great. We played a motocross show too. Like I think I was
Whoa.
talking about that. Yeah, that was really
Yeah,
cool. That was probably the highlight because it was just so bizarre. We drove out like to the middle of like rural Pennsylvania, and there's this giant ass motocross like park, and like they brought out like the sound company like brought out like this big ass truck, and then they
yeah.
parked the truck next to this big ass flatbed. So we set up like a whole lighting sound rig on this like flatbed trailer,
Wow.
and like yeah, I just played like under like the night sky, and then like they lit up like a bonfire, and like it was motocross, so there's like fucking like you know like we were set up, we were on a hill, and like right below us was like a motocross track, so like fucking people were like going around and like fucking doing jumps and shit.
Oh, insane, man.
It was
Insane.
like beautiful night too.
Yeah.
Like yeah, that was awesome. And we were the only band playing that night, which is
Wow.
abnormal. Normally it's like, you know, local shows, you have three or
Yeah.
four bands, like you played 30, 40 minutes. We were the only entertainment for the night.
Wow.
So what we ended up doing was you know, like we didn't we accepted the show, and we have enough songs in our discography obviously to cover that, but we're working in a new bass player right now, so he only knew like
Ah.
11, 12 songs. Now granted, a lot of our songs are 4 or 5 minutes, but still it's like we're supposed to play like 2 hours. So like what we ended up doing was we did these like long ass like you know Earthless style. I think that's Earthless, right? The stoner rock band that
Yeah.
like does
Yeah.
all the jams. Yeah, we just did a bunch of like Earthless style like jams, you know, for like half an hour. You know, like a song would end, and then we just start fucking jamming for half an hour, like having no idea what to do. Like we've never jammed like with this bass player either. We're just like, all right, we're gonna fucking try this, you know. And it was fucking awesome. Like it was a really cool experience, you know, just like being like, I don't know what the fuck we're gonna do, but we're just gonna jam, you know.
Doesn't you know what you just said, man? That just sounds like the stereotypical kind of stoner band as well. It really does.
Yeah, yeah, we're like, oh, we need another 45 minutes of material.
Yeah.
Okay, we're just gonna wing it live.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
see what comes out. Oh, hey, we've managed to somehow record an album within the jamming session as well.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. And it was really cool. I mean, and like it ended up being so like fun, and like it actually
yeah,
sounded pretty damn good that we ended up for like the preceding shows that we did with the Spiders and Mag Electrics. We played through 3 shows with them, then we played another local show too.
yeah.
We ended up doing like jams like at the end of every set, you know, just because like it went so well at the motocross things. Like, you know, we'd finish our set 5 minutes early and then just jam for 5 minutes because it was just like, oh, this is kind of fun and people get into it, you know.
Mag Electric, is that the band from New York by any chance?
Yep.
Yeah, I know what you. Yeah, they're pretty cool. Then.
Well, they work with Song.
Yeah, that's where I've heard of them. Yeah, they're pretty cool. And motocross, man, that's another sport I love. It's just absolutely awesome. I love, like I think I said last time you were here, I love the X Games, just seeing all the stunts they do and everything.
Oh, it's insanity. Like you're watching these dudes do like 50 feet like jumps. I'm just like, Jesus Christ. I'm like, what?
I once went to this event, man, over here where it was like in this abandoned kind of quarry. And they were flying everywhere, man. And it was the most insane stuff I've ever seen live, but so entertaining, man. So high adrenaline. And I'm like, perfect to play a show there as well, for sure.
Yeah, it's fucking nuts watching them like go around and like go like crazy. But yeah, and then also just like playing like under the night sky with like lights like illuminating the flatbed, and you see like these fucking motocross like, you know, bikes zipping by as like, you know, you're like fucking jamming. It was pretty fucking cool.
I like as well, you've got I was looking on your Facebook wall and there's a picture of you sat on the cannon as well. That makes a good cover within itself.
Yeah, that was when we were going to play in Frederick, Maryland. And we played the night before around in Carlisle, which is around Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and we had like some time to kill, so we went down to Gettysburg. And we just like walked around for a couple hours. Nice,
man. That's awesome. So you mentioned you've got a new bass player there, so you've added another member to the band.
He's been the same guy. He's been playing with us since like July.
Oh, okay.
But you know, I mean, he had to like, you know, learn like our initial set, get comfortable with it. So that's like 7-8 songs. And then, so like, you know, but on top of that, we're trying to coach him into doing harmonies too, which is like its own, like, you know, bag of worms. So, you know, for this, like motocross thing, you know, we had to double. Oh shit, my parlay just hit. Let's fucking go. We had to
it's all good, man. I know you're multitasking, don't worry about it.
No. Well, I just looked up and I'm like, fuck,
go.
Yeah. I'm like, all right, just made a good $50. Anyway. So he learned like 7-8 songs. He had to get comfortable with them, and then also like coaching up harmonies, which is its own animal, especially because he doesn't sing a lot. So, you know, like he was getting comfortable with that material. And then we got hit with the motocross opportunity, and essentially we had to double our set. So, you know, it was like on top of like refining the 7-8 songs and making them as good as they can be for our normal set, we had to add 7-8 more. So that's why, like, you know, like he's still like coming into the role, you know, and learning 15 songs or whatever, or additional 7, and then trying to make them like a tight 15 is pretty challenging, especially for our kind of music, because there is a lot of like, you know, progressive rock elements going on at times with like, you know, time signature changes and all that. So
it's not just, like I say, it's not just one genre, it's a multitude. So it's not right, I'm just going to learn one style how to play and I can stick to that. No, this is quite, it's layered. So that's
and then also like a lot of the bass lines like are pretty tricky too, especially for the newer materials. So, you know, it takes some time. And then like we have 7-8 minute songs that have like multiple parts and shit. It's, you know, it's not like, you know, you're coming in to play like Green Day, you know, for like an hour. It's like a bit more involved. So we've been like coaching him up since like July. And like the motocross show was like an example of like all right, like we got this opportunity, we really need to up our song list now, and you know, but we couldn't, like, theoretically, like, you know, we have enough material to play for like 4 or 5 hours. However, like, you know, getting like the amount that we got done was like a more reasonable goal to achieve.
Yeah, definitely. I noticed you've got some shows coming up as well on December the 2nd. So could you tell us a bit about them so we can plug them?
Yeah, so that is with a band called Primitives. It's their and also a couple other bands I'm blanking right now, and I apologize to them.
It's all right. I do it all the time. Don't worry.
Yeah, I get all the bands confused in my head, but it's Primitive's release show. I forget
All
what
right.
they're releasing, but they're releasing a song or an EP, something like that. I'm blanking, but yeah, it's a release show for them, and it's at Philly Mocha in Philadelphia, and I believe it'll be our last show of the year. So, and my
Yeah.
birthday is on December 5th too, so it's kind of like a
Hey.
little like birthday show, I guess.
Yeah, well, happy birthday in advance, and hope it goes well, and then I can enjoy some chill during the holidays, and then get back to it in the new year as well. So with that said, do you have some more singles, EPs planned?
Yeah, so the plan is we just put out Etcetera, and then we're gonna have two more songs come out January 12th. So
Nice.
we're gonna be busy in the time between our last show of the year and the 12th. But we're gonna have two more songs come out on the 12th, and the idea there is to bundle them with the two that have, Etcetera and Raindrops, and like kind of have it as like a pseudo EP release, even though it's more so just like the third single or third and fourth single in the set of four. But that way you get the best of both worlds. You get to say you have an EP out, even though it's, just another single. But yeah, we have two songs coming out January 12th. And then this past weekend, we jammed for a few hours and came up with like a cool little riff that we're probably going to develop into something. So we're still busy writing, and yeah.
So are you probably going to do the artwork in a day again as well for everything?
We'll see when inspiration strikes. Generally when it strikes, the iron's hot. So yeah, it comes together within a fairly short time. So yeah.
Maybe see what the bong bottle decides. See where it goes.
There's no predicting yet. It's unpredictable, but we'll see.
Yeah, so. I'm now hearing how you did Etcetera and the artwork side of it. Now you've got me really curious to see what you do for the new singles in January. What comes out.
See that kind of sucks because now I have expectations. I'll be.
Yeah, I'm putting the pressure on you, man.
Yeah, it'll be over the holiday. Maybe I just want to chill.
Yeah.
Well, and also because I have to submit the EP to the distribution service a month in advance. So really, I only have a couple weeks. So.
Oh damn! Yeah, the pressure will soon be on. Taking that chill, and then all of a sudden be like, man, I've got a week to submit this.
I got to name two songs. I got to mix one of them. I got to figure out a name for the EP. I got to make the artwork. So yeah, the heat is on right now.
Yeah. Do you find those sometimes when you're in those situations and you've got that tight schedule that you just go into like business mode and you get everything done?
Oh yeah, well that's the only way I operate.
Yeah.
I'm like a master procrastinator.
Yeah, sounds a bit like my college essays. Literally, I'll do an all-nighter. We'll get there.
Well, yeah, like I finished the mix for Etcetera like over a month ago, right? Probably a month and a half ago. I finished the mix for it, and I knew that I had to like get this done by like 2 weeks from now. So I had all that time to do it, and I kept telling myself, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna be a bit ahead of schedule, like whatever, and it just didn't happen.
So I'm going to try and behave myself. I want to say this is, I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to drop any spoilers about the new song, but I guess for themes and lyrics, we'll just say, is it again just how you were maybe feeling at the time or commenting on something? And that's all I'll say, because I don't want to intentionally drop something.
No, you're good. Yeah, I mean, it's very, in terms of thematically how it was written, very similar to, the other ones. One of the songs is an acoustic song that was like folky. So that one was, a lot of that was kind of like trying to be a bit more like Bob Dylan-y, like storytelling with it, where it kind of has like less interpretive lyrics and more literal lyrics, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So for like the folky acoustic one, I was definitely trying to do with that. And then the more electric one, it's more in line with the past two songs.
Nice. There's a special video planned as well.
I have some ideas in mind. We'll see what happens. I don't know yet.
Yeah,
But
yes.
I have a few ideas floating around the noggin, so it just comes down to if we have the time to get it done by then. If not, it might be like another, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
So
Just see what happens, eh, man?
yeah, exactly. It just comes down to time constraints, really.
Yeah. No doubt, man. It does. Well, yeah, I'm very, very eager and interested, and also curious, as I said, to see what appears in January. So I'll look forward to talking to you about it, man, when those drop. Help get the word out for sure.
Yeah, I'll have to, reach out to you when I drop them, and we'll have to have
Yeah.
another talk, another fireside chat.
Yeah, another fireside chat whilst I should be better by then, so I won't be having to like take breaks and I'll be thinking, yeah, you smoke too much. No,
Yeah.
man, dude, it's whenever I get a cold or flu, man, I don't get them often, but when I do, it'll literally go straight to my chest and then
Yeah.
stay around for a few weeks. Like,
I'm the same way. When I get
yeah,
like something going on there, it's just like I'm like hacking out a lung and it just won't go
oh
away. And
no,
it's like just nonstop, like fucking just like congestion up there. And it's like, oh,
yeah. There was a random moment happened. I was talking with two guests from Quebec, from Canada,
Mhm.
last week, and I took it, I was muting out and doing the coughing in the background whilst they were talking. And when we got towards the end of the show, I thought I must have somehow transmitted the plague through the screen
Because they
because,
started like hacking up along.
one of them started hacking up. So all people saw was like, there was two of them, girl and the guy. And the guy, he was like then stepping in as a freelance host to cover it whilst I'm hacking up in the background. And then you just saw the girl saying, "Can you get me some water, some water?"
So it's the fault to do total shit show.
Yeah, totally. It's like, but as you know, man, the most random stuff seems to happen on these shows, or totally unplanned. Something like
That's the best way to do it.
yeah,
It's like it's good comedy.
yeah. And so all you'll see, like, it was like the first part of that show is like, it's like what we're doing, getting into it all. And then when you get to the end, it's just this like random coughing attack, almost like we're coughing sparring. So anyone who watches it will be like, now I'm feeling the cough come on, be like, what's going on here? And the band, the beauty is I couldn't have planned this better, man. They're called Disorientation.
That's awesome.
Oh man, it was the most one of the most random things
Well,
ever.
it's like when they say like like yawns are contagious. Like you see a yawn and you yawn. Maybe it's like for coughing too. It's for whatever the hell you had.
Yeah.
They see your brutal cough and they're like, "Whoa, I'm sick now too."
Yeah, exactly. Let's have a coughing contest, form a new band, Cough Core or something. New
Cough
York
core.
Cough Core. That'll do. Literally turn up and it's just a dude coughing on stage.
Dude, that'd be a good like comedy routine, honestly. Like, oh, check out my new band, like Cough Corp.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah, man, for real. Oh,
Well,
yeah.
it's like that one clip from Family Guy where it's like it's like now for like the top single for the past like 4,000 years, Hiya Hiya Hiya.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that clip?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's like, and you made me think of the South Park one as well, where I think. Is it Kyle waking up on the morning and every song that he hears on the radio just sounds like turds? Yeah. That is a classic. I love that.
They go into like the doctor's office and it's like, oh, like you're cynical now, or like something like that. Like, you have cynical old man syndrome.
Yeah.
Everything sounds like shit.
Yeah. Beautiful episode, man. I love those shows. American Dad is another one I really like as well.
Yeah, that's a funny one.
It's so random with Roger the alien too. Complete madness. There was a recent episode I saw of it where it had literally had the Stan the dad, and he'd injected the fat from his butt cheeks somewhere else into his face to get like the big lips and big cheeks, and he's walking around like this whole diva, and I was like, this is just absolutely hilarious. So random.
Yeah, apart from your butt cheeks and your face.
Yeah, there's an alternative procedure for sure.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's just like, what? Like, who thinks of that?
Yeah, definitely, man.
Oh.
Well, oh, coughing attack. I was just about.
Oh, here we go. We'll be right back after a word from your sponsor.
Now a cough from our sponsor. Yeah, halftime show at the Super Bowl is literally a dude just stood there coughing. Yeah, Mandra would rather watch that than some of the people that bring out at the halftime show. But yeah, I digress. So man, is there, as you know from last time, when we get towards the end of the show, I always like to give people a chance to shout out anything they would like. I mean, obviously promoting the band, the new single, but I just wondered if there's anything else you would like to shout out and promote.
I think you got pretty much everything in there. I mean, new singles out called Etcetera. We got a couple new songs coming out in a packaged EP in January. We got new cool merch out. We have a show December 2nd to wrap up the year. I think it'll wrap up the year. I guess we'll find out, but pretty sure it will. Yeah, I mean, I think we covered all the bases.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, everybody definitely go support the Stone Eye, especially if you like a varied range with the new music as well, because everything is there. I shall see you all in the next episode of Fedup, which I believe, well, it is Tuesday, but you never know. I could get an email and could be on tomorrow, so we shall see.
Yeah, exactly. It's like us in our end of the year show. I think it is, but if we get an opportunity, you never know.
Yeah, exactly. Don't forget to follow the Stone Eye. All the links will be in the description. Follow and support the channel as well, and that way you can stay up with everything that's going on. I'm usually on it here every day, hacking up along with someone. Yeah. So, folks, have a good one. Take care of yourselves. Stephen, man, great to have you back. Really enjoyed talking with you again, and I'm very looking forward to the new material in the new year. I'm interested to see what you come up with.
Likewise, I look forward to our next conversation.
Definitely, man, and good luck to the Eagles as well.
Well, they're in trouble right now, but
never know. All right. Yeah, all right, folks, I'm going to get more whiskey before I start hacking up again. So uncomfortable pause moments, as you used to by now, where I hit end stream and we wait for the delay. So in 3, 2, 1.